We are here at E3 2018. Myself and Aaron, we've played some Battlefield V, whatever you want to call it.
V for victory?
V for very
Vendetta?
thoughtful impressions. That was a stretch. So what did you think of the game?
It was interesting. So we've heard a lot about Battlefield 5 coming into this. They've released a lot of the details through like us and YouTubers. Their press conference made people worry a little bit because it was a bit too bombastic. But we finally got our hands on the map. We played a map called Narvik, which was in Norway. It was a small infantry close quarters map, which, to be honest, didn't really show off Battlefield's strengths quite the way that I would like. So I think a lot of what we have to talk about today is we have to see a lot more of this game before we could really form a strong opinion. But there was a lot of really good stuff to talk about in this map. So, what class did you primarily play as?
I mostly played as the support because I wanted to try out the new fortification system. And that had some really cool moments. For a bit I was using the Bren gun, which you could use kind of mobily, and then I upgraded to a medium machine gun, the MG42, which had to have a bipod attached for you to actually use properly. So that kind of played into the whole build a fortification, hunker down sort of stuff. There was moments where I like the first time I pushed towards an objective, started throwing down sandbags, put a machine gun nest down, and that felt like it felt really satisfying because suddenly I was taking all this fire, and now I'm safe. I feel like I can defend this objective, but it's an odd one because, like you were saying, it's Battlefield, right? To really have a strong opinion on Battlefield, you need more than 20 minutes. You need to be playing with your squad mates and have the ability to communicate, and the demo didn't really give me that, which is a shame because I was super excited to get my hands on it.
Yeah, you need a large map to really try out all the sandbox
stuff. Yeah, that's how
on.
Battlefield shines.
So let's talk a little bit more about the classes. I primarily leaned into the assault class, which was interesting because the assault class this time around, I thought they had most of the goodies. They had the anti-tank launchers, they had the dynamite, they had the assault rifles. And we were having an interesting conversation earlier where I was killing it as assault, and then I pulled out my toolkit and I was like, yeah, I'm going to give this a try. And I ran up to like one of the berms and I built a pile of snow.
Yeah.
And then I ran up to another berm and I built a couple of sandbags. And I wasn't sure what the game was getting at with this fortification system. But you played as engineer.
Yeah, so that's where the fortification stuff really shines. And I think it's another way to kind of emphasize that teamwork dynamic because the assault guy isn't going to be able to do everything else, and if your whole team is assault and medic, then you're not going to have these strong points to defend. It really did feel like it was necessary to have some variety in the classes in your squad, but you're completely right. The assault, the people that I encountered during the demo, it was like 40% assault, like 30% scouts, and then just like a mixture of medic and engineer. There weren't that many medics, which is a shame because Battlefields in the previous have emphasized medics, and in Battlefield 5 it's even more important to have medics because you don't revive to full. You can only be revived by squad mates with the buddy revive. It's much more difficult to stay alive. It's much more intense. It's really important to get those resurrections off and get those heals, but there was no medics on my team.
I think a lot of what you're getting at, too, is a lot of the systems right now are built towards pushing people together in their squads.
Right.
So things like ammo scarcity, being able to revive your buddies in squads, but not back to full health unless you're a medic, fortification system. The roles themselves seem a lot more specialized. But in casual play, which is, I guess you could say we simulated in this environment.
Absolutely, yeah. We were with strangers and we didn't have the ability to communicate.
But that's going to be a problem. I actually found it very difficult to tell who was in your squad, and it's weird because I think a lot of what people were complaining about with the original reveal was that there wasn't like immersion breaking stuff. They wanted a more immersive sim, but realistically, I almost felt like this needed a Left 4 Dead style outline of at all times of who was in my squad,
right?
Because it was really easy to get separated from your squad and then not be able to tell where they were, and because these mechanics are so essential in you being with your squad, it made everything a lot rougher. Like if you run off on your own, you are weaker. You do run out of ammo. You can only build a bank of snow instead of a full-on machine gun nest.
I do really like that aspect. I feel so conflicted because the individual gameplay elements, like I really like that ammo is scarce. I really like that medics are more important. I really like that team play is more important, and that the whole fortification system. All of them separately, I really like these new gameplay elements, but it's tricky because the demo that we had just didn't let them shine enough. And I think now, like, I need to keep an open mind about Battlefield because I did love them, but I need to spend much more time with the game. I need to experience like the proper Battlefield maps that are wide open and that really let that Battlefield gameplay shine, rather than the the 2 days that we had that felt very close quarters and very assault class centric. It didn't give. There's so much that Battlefield has, but it needs to breathe.
Yeah.
And this felt very claustrophobic and very confined, and it's going to be interesting, and I still am like super excited, but yeah, they've done it twice now. The reveal didn't reveal everything that they wanted it to reveal, and now their demo isn't letting them show off everything they want their demo to. So it feels like they're kind of handicapping their own game at this point, which is a shame because I really did enjoy it.
There were some really cool moments. Battlefield's about that sort of emergent gameplay where, there's always going to be silliness and you never quite know what your teammates are going to be doing, and there's a lot of them. But Grand Operations did have some cool moments. So the initial part of the game starts with you actually physically jumping out of an airplane. And I did have a really cool moment where I jumped out of the airplane onto over a flat gun that was trying to shoot down the plane I was deploying from, and I actually parachuted and landed and then just kind of hucked a grenade into the nest and blew the guy up who was in there. So you do have those, you can see glimpses of what they're going for.
Yeah.
Like those moments are there. How did you feel about Grand Operations in general?
I really like the idea of it, the fact that day one has a knock-on effect on day two. Alternatively, when I was playing on the defending side, I saw infantry jumping out of those planes, and I had like an MG42, and I was like, me and my squad were just shooting into the sky trying to kill paratroopers. Again, that felt really cool, and to those players, it was probably quite exciting to be trying to drop and having these bullets whiz past. It did feel like there was, like, the defenders had an easier time of it, but again, Battlefield is a game that needs to be learned, and people need to invest time in it. It's not really fair to assume that all the attackers that are just trying out this game in a public demo are going to be doing are going to PTFO.
Yeah.
They want to experience stuff, which is completely fair, but it does mean that squads were moving together and attacking these objectives. It's so weird. I feel so conflicted because I really do dig this game, but I need to see it in a way that lets Battlefield be Battlefield, and that just wasn't it. But at the same time, you and me, both massive Battlefield fans, so you can guarantee that as soon as we get to see it again, one of us is going to be all over that. So if you want to see more about Battlefield, either one of us is going to be able to fill you in. So make sure you subscribe to GameSpot for that Battlefield 5 stuff, and for everything else, E3 2018, and we'll see you next time.